Hi, whole class. Can you remember our story last week? It was a fairy tale and it was called Jack and the Beanstalk. This week we're going to be thinking about Jack and the Beanstalk and we're going to be seeing if we can put some pictures in the right order. That's called sequencing. And then we're going to write some sentences about the first half of the story. Okay, let's have a look. Can you remember the characters? Who's this? Jack. Who's this? Jack's mum, well done. Who is this? The giant. And who was this mysterious person? The bean seller, well done. Okay, here are the pictures that we're going to try and have a little think about and see if these pictures can go in an order. Now, it isn't all of the story here, it's just the first half. Okay, let's have a think. Did Jack climb up a beanstalk at the beginning of the story? No, not right at the beginning, did he? Do you think the giant comes right at the start? No, I don't think so. His mummy threw the beans out of the window. She did, but that wasn't first. Oh, hang on. I think maybe we found the first picture. Because at the beginning of the story, Jack lived with his mummy and the cow. Do you remember? And this is at the giant's castle when he'd climbed the beanstalk. And this picture is the bean seller. Right, okay, I'm going to move out of the way some of these pictures and put this picture first. Let's have a think. So, once upon a time, do you remember? That's how the fairy tale started. Lots of fairy tales start like that. Once upon a time. Oh, hang on a minute. I think I might know which comes next. It can't be this one where she throws the beans away because, look, here's Jack, just when he meets the bean seller. I'm going to bring this one next. Okay, now we've got 4 left. What do you think? He lived with his mummy. His mummy sent him to take the cow to market. He met the bean seller. He went home. Oh, and his mummy was very cross. So I think we'll have to have that one next. Okay. And then what? Then he decided he was going to climb up the beanstalk. Do you remember? So it must be this picture next. And then... he's walking to the door. It must be this next before we meet the giant. So there we go. We've sequenced the first 6 pictures for the first half of the story. Now we're going to think about doing a little bit of writing. I've got the first 2 pictures here to help you remember. And I've started the writing for us in blue. I've written the way fairy tales often start. This word here, it's a very silly word. It's the word once, but it doesn't start with a W letter. Once. It's a bit like the number 1 when we write the number 1 word. That starts with an A as well. Once. Once, up, on, that's 2 words stuck together, the word up and the word on, up on. Once upon a time. And then down here, this is to help you remember how to do good writing. We're going to sound it out. We're going to listen for the sounds in the words and try and spell them. We're going to leave finger spaces between every word, and we're going to remember a full stop, aren't we, at the end of every sentence. And the box the words and the pictures in the green box, they're to help you with some spellings for this part of the story. So we've got the word cottage, we've got the word cow, we've got the word Jack, and we've got the words magic beans. Okay, let's think. Once upon a time, what could we say? Once upon a time there, yes, once upon a time there lived a boy called Jack. Full stop. Finger space. Once upon a time there lived a boy called Jack. He, capital E, he lived, ooh, I've just realised that's got an ED ending, lived. He lived with, special friend. He lived with his mum and a cow. Now, I'm going to say Jack had to take his cow to the market. Jack had to take his cow to the market. He met a bean seller. Where's those words? We've got bean down here. Bean. Let's just take a look back here. Here's the words bean seller. A bean seller. Suffix Okay. He met he met the bean seller. I think I've written some good sentences. Once upon a time there lived a boy called Jack. He lived with his mum and a cow in their cottage. In a cottage. There we go. Once upon a time there lived a boy called Jack. He lived with his mum and a cow in a cottage. Oh, do you think that the cow lived in the cottage with them? Hang on a minute. I'm going to pause the video now and try and write a different idea. I'm not sure I like that. Hi. I think this is better. See what you think. Once upon a time, Jack and his mum lived in a tiny cottage. They were very poor. Jack had to take his cow to the market. He met the bean seller. I like that, that's better. Ooh, right, okay. Now we need sentences for these pictures. Mum was so cross. Full stop. She threw the beans out of the window. Capital letter. The next day, Jack climbed. There's a word here to help me. This says climb. It and a and a b. Climb. Climbed. Oh, I need that suffix ed. The next day, Jack climbed up the beanstalk. Okay. Your job today is to write some sentences for the next 2 pictures that finish this part of the story. Here are the words to help you. Castle, giant, hen, golden egg, and harp. Remember, sound out your words. If you make any mistakes in your spellings, it doesn't matter. You just try and sound them out. Leave finger spaces between your words, and at the end of your sentence, put a full stop. So, some sentences to say that Jack went to the castle door. And then, who did he see? And what was on the table? Okay, when you've written your ideas for this part of the story, please ask your grown-up to take a little photo and send it to me. That's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow for another lesson, a very special lesson. Bye.